Ooh.
What do you got for me, Hannity?
We're pushing. It might change again.
What are they pushing?
They're pushing the Republican Party, and CNN's pushing the Democrats.
Yes. So nothing's changed?
Their position is never going to change. That's their mandate. Fox News represents the right. CNN represents the left. But CNN is a bunch of liars.
Media 101. You don't think Fox is a bunch of liars? You think they're less liars? There are less liars on Fox than there are on CNN?
CNN pretends to be like the most trusted news. Wolf just lied. He said Trump said to the troops, kill them, and he never said that.
But Fox News does the same thing, right?
No,
They
never
maybe not
said,
Hannity. I don't
never
know.
said Obama said kill some people. They never reported that. They're partisan, but there's a difference between being partisan and lying. Wolf Blitzer outright lied. He never said kill them. He said if they throw stones at you, it represents a rifle. It's like a rifle. It didn't say kill them, but Wolf Blitzer said kill them, which is a lie. So.
Mm-hmm.
And Fox doesn't have the pretense at CNN. Oh, we're real reporters. Fox is commentary.
Well,
No.
Fox News surely loves defending Trump's lies. What the fuck is that all about?
But it's like they're blown out of proportion. It's always the same thing, calling them Hitler, and then CNN calls white people. The problem is white people. That's racist. The guy in Florida said that the FBI is racist because they went after him. You're corrupt. You took some bribes. That's not racist. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm. That is a fact.
So that's the damn point. Stop calling people racist. This is called identity politics.
Stop saying things that are racist.
Well, nobody said anything that was racist.
Trump does all the time.
No.
He incites racism in people
This
all the time.
This is
He really does.
Racist is to say Mexican.
I'm not saying he's a racist. I'm saying that he says shitty racist things.
No.
Okay.
Racist would say black people can't do this, can't do that. Mexican. He talked a little bit about. But when he says the caravan, these are illegal people trying to cross the border illegally. That's not racist.
And he clumps that whole group of people into one other clump, MS-13 or whatever that gang is, and or they're bringing in drugs, and or they are terrorists, and or they are going to rape us. You know, this is how he characterizes these events. He's done this throughout his presidency for 2 years.
In the caravan, he says there are those. He didn't say every member of the caravan is that. He said they're mainly male, which has been verified. 80% of them are single men. There are not a lot of families, and a couple of them were found to be part of gangs and criminals.
Do you find that there's a different Trump on TV than there was maybe like 2 months ago?
No.
You don't find that he's calmed down his rhetoric, in quotes?
When he said,
I don't find he's the same.
When he announced his candidacy, he said racist and all that. He was just testing the base, and the base responded.
So he was testing
the base.
His base that he appeals to, and he's appealing to his base, and he's banking on the fact that these racists are going to vote for him. No? True? True?
No. Watch out. If you live in Texas or if you live in Arizona, you have to deal with a whole bunch. It's not about, the concept is not these guys are going to come and kill you. It's there are people who are going through the natural process of naturalization, which is legal.
Yes.
And these guys are cutting in line.
Right, which is just not cool.
But that's all he's saying, that he's not playing the race card. There were Canadians doing the same thing. He said these people from the north are cutting in line.
I think what you
easy to play out the color of their skin. It's not about
how much news did you watch like a year ago before you got here?
Not as much.
Not that much. He's a different. It seems like he's playing a different part right now. He's rolling things back a little bit.
But when he does his rallies, It depends who he's talking to. Look at when she asked him,
Should-
"Do you lie?" He said, "Ah, as little as that."
It shouldn't depend who you're talking to. Your message should be consistent. As the president of the United States, it should be consistent. He doesn't care.
His job is he always speaks to his base because somewhere, somehow, he gets away with
And
it.
who's his base again?
Well, people who vote Republican. He's the only option they have. So again, I'm sick of this bullshit. That it's the racist people. It's not the
No, no,
racist
no,
people.
no. His base
It's
isn't the
people
is
who
it,
don't want the Democrats.
his base isn't the Republicans. That's not his base. That's not what is meant by the base. What's meant by the base to you? How do you define the base?
The people who go for the argument that the most important thing is the border right now, and if the economy is doing well,
Do you think that's his base, right?
yes.
Okay. Because I see his base being fundamentalist Christians and white nationalists.
Oh, there's not 60 million white nationalists in the United States.
No, there's not that many of them. So, but I do feel like maybe that's how CNN takes it, right?
His base is people who are sick and tired of the politically correct nonsense of the left because they're extremists. And see,
Yeah, I get that.
socialism. If you were to listen to Nancy Pelosi, or Bernie Sanders, these guys don't know anything about it. We had that in Quebec all over the place. Every time you say free healthcare, free education, and free college, because the 1% is not paying a fair share, you don't understand anything about anything. The 1% doesn't have that much. And first of all, the 1% in the U.S. is about $250,000 and more. So
$250,000 a year.
all the doctors, all the lawyers, most of the dentists, guys who have construction companies, if you have a successful business with 40 employees, you'll make over $250,000.
So you believe that 1% actually represent that they're in that 1%.
In Canada, it's 180 or more.
180 or more.
181,000, you're the evil 1%. But the problem is
It's
that
not
people
that much.
imagine 1% is the millionaires and billionaires.
Right.
It's not all guys who are cheaters and cheat the system and abuse their employees. That's nonsense.
Right.
The 1% is people who happen to make more than maybe 250 in the U.S.
But the ones that are making billions are the point.
But
One?
nobody's making billions. Corporations are making billions. Very few individuals make billions of dollars.
But very few individuals do benefit from the billions that are made from these big organizations.
Yeah, be careful.
Only a
One
few
thing.
people.
McDonald's, it's not like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons where all the money goes to one guy. These guys are shareholders. So it's ordinary people who invest in McDonald's and Walmart and Coca-Cola and all these companies who make the money.
What about George Soros and people like that?
Yeah, but these are the few, the very, very few, like the Walton family, like Bill Gates, like Musk and all these guys who turn out to be. And besides, when they say that they're billionaires, Bill Gates doesn't have $90 billion. He has a value on the valuation of the company. He owns a percentage of the stock.
Right.
But he's not a billionaire. That's just a figure of speech.
He's
Oprah
well
is
off.
A billionaire. Trump is a billionaire because Oprah owns her money. But the Walton family, they don't have $9 billion in the bank. See, he's not a demagogue. He's not a crazy, psychotic Hitler.
He sure sounded like it a year ago.
Hitler
Or
killed
2 months
like
ago.
25 million people. He never
Let's
killed
hear
anyone.
what he says here.
Who questions their radical ideas? Did you ever see anything like what's going on? You decide 4 nights.
He's banking on one idea. Our country isn't safe until you close the border.
Just for a second. I know conventional wisdom says.
He's not a perfect
So
individual.
he's operating through
Don't say
fear.
Don't say
Yes, it's through fear.
I'm sick of this word.
Okay, tell me why you're sick of that.
It's unfair to let people come in and use a bad law to get advantages that other people don't. Look at that birthright thing. A woman can come here from Russia, spends a week in Florida, gives birth, the kid is automatically American.
Do you realize his only argument for immigration at one time, it seemed like for a long time, was that these Mexicans were coming over and they were going to, yes, and that they were going to rape everybody. And Fox would pick up one story about a Mexican who actually raped a girl and made that their argument for Mexicans and immigration and all that kind of shit. And it's
cities,
that's fucked up.
sanctuary cities are places where criminals go, and they benefit from the protection of the state they're in. Right? So sanctuary cities is where criminals go. There are tons of illegal immigrants who committed crimes. These guys should be deported right now, but they can't find them, or the Democrats resist.
If you
that.
know they've committed crimes, yes, I agree.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them that are being protected in sanctuary cities all over the United States because the Democrats don't make a difference between a hardworking or a regular American and a criminal. That's why the right she's a right wing. She's not a crazy psychotic lady. Ingram, she just goes, I don't want a collectivist government. I don't want the government to take over anything because we've proven in Canada, when the government takes over, it never works. Governments are never efficient at anything. Quebec has universal health care. It's the worst place in the world to get sick. And it's only 8 million people. 330 million people under one government health care would be a total disaster. You would bankrupt the nation. Who wants that? Biden. Pocahontas, Hillary Clinton, that's a single pair. These guys are resisting that.
Yeah.
It's not about hating Mexicans, it's about saying we don't want these stupid laws and this identity politics that the left is always pushing. Raise taxes, centralize power. This is what the left wants. These guys are just resisting that. Trump plays a little bit the game, blah, blah, blah. He's not a perfect guy. But to compare him to Hitler is nonsense.
Unwarranted, you say?
He hasn't killed anyone.
Not yet.
Words don't mean anything, and that's why the left panics on words. When their words are bad, like Don Lemon saying white people are the problem.
Have you heard the words that Hitler said before he got really crazed with power?
He was a demagogue. He wasn't elected. He took over the power, and he completely devastated his country. He's not doing that. He has Congress, he has the Senate, he has laws. He can't do that.
He wants to, it seems, though.
Oh my God, that's not reading his property. This guy just wants to win.
It's possible.
I'm
I'm willing to say I'm wrong when I see something different.
Kim Jong-un kills people. Chinese people kill people.
Yeah, but Kim Jong-un is being supported by Trump. That's his best friend. They're lovers. They love each other.
These are just words that he uses to inflame the media. All he did is
Doesn't make any sense.
calm them down. Like Putin. He wants to get along with Putin. That's a smart thing. You don't want an enemy. You don't want another Cold War. See?
We have a white nationalist president.
You don't believe that Trump is you don't think he's a puppet of Putin at all?
No.
You don't think so, huh?
The United States is a sovereign country. Putin doesn't control anything in the United States.
You don't think Russia wants to control what the U.S. does?
Russia wants to dominate the world like China wants to dominate the world.
Exactly.
But Putin doesn't control the United States. The United States is 10 times stronger than Russia.
Do you think Putin thinks the same way Trump does about Putin?
I have no idea what Putin is thinking.
Take a stab at it. Take a guess. Are they good friends? Do they see eye to eye? Is that an equal partnership?
I have no idea what their agenda is, but the nonsense about Russia will take over because Trump will sell it out is nonsense. Complete nonsense. These guys have been enemies for a long time. They're superpowers.
You don't think that Russia or Putin has information on Trump that could be very devastating to his career?
There's spies everywhere. There's
Sure.
spies in Canada.
Do you think Putin can hurt Trump more than Trump can hurt Putin?
Nobody can touch Trump.
Nobody can touch Trump.
They've been trying for 2 years. They can't even take him down.
I think Putin's already touched him.
No. Putin doesn't have the nonsense that Putin is running the United States. That's complete nonsense.
Not running it. He's influenced it, though. Just probably like anybody else, like China.
What does that mean, influence?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, I'm asking you. What does that
Well,
mean?
they've had spies infiltrated into the government. They just
They're calling Vlad, hey man, you don't believe it? Nah.
no, they're trying to influence power. That's what they're trying to do. That's the new spy. They're not killing people. They're trying to influence power.
120 military bases in 120 countries. They're influencing the world. They've been influencing the world for 100 years.
Yes, they're just doing it differently now, so we need to know how they are doing it. And Russia's doing it very, very effectively.
China is nobody's friend. It's not the friend of the United States for sure. These guys are not all chummy. They're competing for resources.
Trump makes it sound like they're all chummy with Putin and
Being chummy, it's about evading the guy. It's about, placating him. Let's not create a division.
That's not what he's saying. He's not saying that's what I'm doing. He's trying to convince the public, everybody around him, that they are best friends, that this is a good thing.
It's the way he talks. That's the problem with Trump, is you never know what he means. He says he's one.
Well, how can he be an effective
We love each other.
president if you don't know what he's talking about?
He uses words without thinking. Kim Jong-un is a good guy. Now CNN jumps on that. It's just a waste. It's a figure of speech.
Figure of speech. He kept on saying it over and over. How much he loves him. How much they love each other. How much he's such a good leader and he's good for his people and all that kind of shit. That they're best friends.
It doesn't matter.
That I respect him and the way he runs his country.
For me, I don't give a crap about his words. It's his actions that count. And his actions,
Then the ends justify the means, and that's not right. Words do mean something because they're like.
You're playing exactly into his game. Trump throws out these words.
That's what he's doing. I'm not playing into his game. I know exactly what he's doing. People play into his game all the time, but that's not a good way to lead.
No. What matters is his actions, not his words.
It matters that his actions are meet with his words.
He hasn't done anything wrong. What has he done wrong? For the American people.
He's lied so many times, just lie, so nobody knows anything about what's going on. He wants people in the dark all the time.
Employment is better everywhere. There's more black people working. There's more Latinos working.
There again, what kind of employment is it? Okay.
The United States economy is better.
Is the economy really better, or has it been inflated just recently, and then in the end, when it comes down to it, what really matters is it sustainable? No. If it's no, then he's done a fucked up, shitty job.
Like Obama did.
Well, no. Obama, he rolled back everything Obama tried, I guess. I don't know much about Obama, to be honest with you. I didn't.
All these experts in the economy said that Obama's economy was shit.
They probably were. They're all doing shit. They're not really working on behalf of the people. I don't think he's working on behalf of the people. It's just him. He's a narcissist, man. He's a fucking narcissist.
Look, now, if he loses Congress in the House, he can't do anything.
Good. You gotta cut a guy like that off at the legs a little bit so that you gotta hobble him, because if you let a guy like this control everything, the whole fucking world will suffer for
He
it.
doesn't control anything.
He would control. If he had control of the Senate, the Congress, and whatever else that he...
But he doesn't control anything. Okay?
If he did, if he...
It's not a dictatorship. There's a Congress and a Senate. This guy doesn't control anything.
No,
He wants
so,
to pass the
but
two
he
laws.
has a Congress and a Senate and all these people in line that work for him, that believe in the same ideology. They do. He's operating as a business.
A lot of them are...
This is a business for this guy.
But he doesn't have any centralized power. This guy there's a democracy and there's law.
There is a centralized power. He keeps on firing everybody, dude. He fires everybody that doesn't agree with him. And if people don't agree with him, they're gone. That's just simple. So they leave.
Still there, and all the guys are still there.
Yeah, well, they're there and they're laying in wait or cowering or scared of losing their fucking job. That's what they're doing.
They're giving him much too much power. The president doesn't control that much.
Well, he is, and people are scared, and they don't talk up against him, knowing, like in a conservative party, in a White House, with that kind of fucking rhetoric, and a president that doesn't listen to people. And in fact, if you say anything that makes sense and you disagree with him, he will fire you. Easy. So you don't say anything, and he gets away with everything. So he signs shit, and he gets things passed, because nobody wants to get in his way.
Yeah, but he doesn't have ultimate power to decide everything. He's got executive power, but there's a judicial and legislative behind him. There's a Senate, there's
Yeah.
a Supreme Court.
But they've been handpicked, dude.
Yeah, but
All these
still,
people have been handpicked for a certain side or philosophy. What's that?
it doesn't mean they'll follow what he says.
Whew.
They've opposed him. Paul Ryan is always, I don't know what he does anymore, but I forget his title, but he opposed him. And he says, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that.
Let's face it, they're all just working on behalf of their own personal perspectives. That's all it is. And they're not working for the people.
Not one guy.
Yeah, the entire government. And I agree with that 100%. That's where we agree all the time.
Racist and sexist and this and that.
Well, he is, but it's not the...
Castro. He can't decide everything. He's not a despot. He's just a president.
Give him more power, and he'll try to be.
He
That's
doesn't have
all.
more power. There are laws that say you have limited power.
Mm-hmm.
That's the damn thing. He may act like he's this big honcho, but he can't decide. Tomorrow morning, Roe v. Wade has been turned around. He has to go to the Supreme Court.
But he can sure say it. He can sure say.
That's his problem. What did he say before? Okay, I'll give you a perfect example.
Yep.
Of Trump saying things that he wants but don't happen. I'll give a 10% tax break to the middle class, and it'll be done in a few weeks. His party goes, nah, you can't do that. You have to put it through this blah, 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 blah. So he goes, okay, we'll see. In other words, he wants these things without consulting. He has a big mouth. That's his only problem. But he can't unilaterally decide, I'll give a 10% discount. The Congress has to decide that. So he says it, and then he gets corrected by his people. But he plants these ideas everywhere. But to imagine that because he wants it, it happens is completely untrue. There's a whole structure behind him that says yes, no, no, yes, no, no. And there's still 4 Democratic judges that can oppose everything he says. Like now he wants to end the 14th Amendment by executive order. They correct him and say, sorry, dude, you can't do that. You can't decide tomorrow morning by executive order. Besides, all presidents have passed a lot of executive orders, but they have limited power. That's why the government was split like that. Senate, House, President, Judicial, Legislative, Executive. Otherwise, he would be Castro and say, tomorrow morning, everybody's wearing blue. He's not Mao. He's not like, it's a full democracy.
But Mao's his best friend. I don't know. I don't know who Mao is, but
He was a Chinese dictator
he would be
in the 60s and 70s.
because he's a friend of all dictators.
Obama too. You can't change history.
Obama was a friend of all dictators? No, not Russia.
I don't know that much about what Trump does. All I know, he has a big mouth and he comes out with crap.
That's what we know. Yeah.
But that doesn't make him a Hitler or a racist. That's complete.
Not yet.
Especially when they, hey, his daughter is converted to Judaism. His grandkids are Jews. For Christ's sake, and they accuse him of anti-Semitism.
Didn't Hitler have some Jewishness in him as well?
I think he was Jewish.
There you go.
Yeah, but
So,
he's not anti-Semitic.
I'm just saying that.
That's another thing. Hitler didn't hate the Jews.
There you go.
Hitler wanted to take back the control the Jews had on the banking system of Germany.
Mm-hmm.
If it had been Africans that had the control, he would have gone after Africans.
But he did use that race card to obliterate the Jews.
That's how you incite people.
Yeah, I know.
But it doesn't mean that his convictions were I hate Jews.
Exactly, and that's exactly what Trump does. It's not really that he's a racist. He's just using that race card to incite violence to get his way. That's violence.
Now they try to blame him for the pipeline. It's nonsense. If you're that stupid that you can be influenced, if Trudeau tomorrow morning
People
said,
are influenced
well, then there is-
by power. Yes, they. And if you don't know that, then
I'm
you
not
should.
defending Trump, I'm just saying
You
that
should know that.
there's enough of that nonsense out there to compare him to a dictator who's killed people when he hasn't done anything. Who cares if he says Mexicans or this or that? Doesn't matter. People are so sensitive nowadays. Amazing. See?
Words matter, though,
Look at
man.
that. The Democrats
Words
are
do
sexual
matter.
race. Just listen to these two people.
Okay.
Voter rolls. It's a routine thing that happens out in states year after year. And you're not seeing it happen just to minorities. People of all races and all distinctions occasionally are pulled off, and sometimes it's an error. Often it's just to update the list. But look, the rhetoric here has changed so much this election, Lauren. We used to talk of the complaint used to be, well, tough voter ID laws. That's now moved to claims of outright suppression. You used to claim that Republicans had latent racism. Now you're outright calling them white nationalists. And there's an electoral strategy behind this. And it is this fact. Look, you cited that poll. Democrats continue to argue every time there's a poll that says that African Americans are supporting Donald Trump in greater numbers. But even they will admit that it has shifted a little bit. And in a race this close, where 2 or 3 points could be the deciding factor, to have African Americans come out and vote for Republicans, or worse in their mind, simply not come out and vote for Democrats, stay home because they're not animated against Donald Trump. That could be the difference between victory and defeat. And that is why you see this rhetoric reaching such extraordinary levels.
Yeah, both sides are accusing the other of ramping up rhetoric for political reasons. Nigel, I want to go to what Vice President Pence said.
It's all for
today.
political reasons.
Black
They're not there.
You're brainwashed or you're stupid. As if black people can't make up their own minds.
Will Ferrell. I'm kind of a big deal too.
Why?
This is the vice president of the United States.
It's Georgia.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Neither does Will Ferrell.
But why is he talking about Will Ferrell? Why does he have to?
He's campaigning for the Democrats.
2008, she really
So?
turned out some voters for
Oprah too.
Barack Obama. There's no doubt about it. She
Why
really-
is there a competition of who's more important?
You're trying to win the vote.
Economy in 2008.
Why do you have to convince someone that you're more important than the other person?
No, you're just saying these guys are not that important.
Great economic statistics.
Why would you have to point out how unimportant someone is? Because anybody, just like me, can be unimportant. Someone could just point at me and say, well, that's unimportant. I'm important. That's not.
Yeah, but he's the vice president of the United States with more sway than the average guy.
Vice president shouldn't say things like that.
I don't know that Republicans are going to hold on to the House, but I think they're going to do a lot better.
It's just a fucking
particularly
competition.
in the minority community.
It's always been
People are polling right now. I think.
That's what I hate about it, man.
There's a hidden
That's what I hate about it.
Well, that's the way of the world.
Vote polls.
Competition is the way of the world.
Yes.
It's not just whites, that are afraid to tell their pollster that they're voting for Donald Trump. There's a reign of terror in minority precincts and among sometimes women
That guy gets
activists,
lambasted on CNN.
People that are
But it's amazing that the Democrats, everything you do is racist.
He has a hard time.
Easy card. It used to be sexist, now it's racist.
Well, Cuomo brings this guy on because he is black.
But he's a conservative.
Whether it's the Democrat or the Republican.
I like their conversations actually between Nigel and Cuomo.
Now you have a leftist on the right.
They're afraid because
This
they're
guy's a super Democrat.
I don't
Is
think
that
they
a
should
good
be.
thing?
Oh yeah, he looks like one.
Afraid. They should be embarrassed.
I haven't even heard him speak yet.
Okay, well, they're afraid because,
No, you shouldn't be afraid.
the
There should be-
racism is potent.
No, there should be no fear from expressing your political opinion. But when you're embracing a person and a party
Yeah.
who openly advocates for racism, calling themselves a nationalist and things like that, you should be embarrassed to embrace that.
Sorry, if everything is racism, brother Byron, if everything is racist, then nothing is racist.
That's not what he was saying, though,
My
Nigel.
friend Denise Morelli says you can't fill out the racism card forever
It's
and think
not
that at some
racism.
point it's going to lose
When
gravity.
someone is being racist, calling them a racist is not pulling the race card.
Exactly.
It's not okay.
Exactly.
Now
That's
you
true
say
though.
it's for Christ's
When he's
sake.
saying something racist and acknowledging that it's racist in
It's not
nature,
Racist. Racist means discrimination based on race. I will not hire you because I don't like your race. It's not about I don't like this guy. I may not like him or her or him. You have a right to dislike people, but there are laws that say you cannot be refused for a job because of your color.
I don't know if you've heard everything that Trump has said about.
I don't think he's racist at all.
But the things that come out of his mouth are super racist, dude.
He's never said anything such as.
I'm gonna look up the super
black
racist
people
things.
Are like this, or white people are like that, or women are stupid, and he never said that.
I'm gonna look up all the racist things that.
Like out, and you
I'm gonna just look it
can't
up. These are just gonna
put
no, they're just gonna be quotes.
inside. It's interpreted as no. he
Okay,
has to
I'm
say-
gonna interpret from my perspective what I'm talking about then. I know.
The only thing he said is that Mexicans who are coming, some of them are criminals. They're bringing drugs. They're rapists, and some are. He didn't say every Mexican is a race. is a killer. He said some of them, and it's true.
He's
But there's a lot of them who come in. Drugs come in from the south. Cocaine comes from the south. It's an
racist.
absolute fact.
Yes.
If he was racist, he would have refused a Jew in his
Said.
His daughter has converted to Judaism to placate Kushner. If you're a racist, you don't accept that. Look at his
Okay,
actions. He's hired black people, he's hired Asian people, he's hired everyone. A racist does not surround himself with people who are not white.
Mm-hmm.
And if an idiot puts pipe bombs or does this or does that or kills Jewish people in the synagogue, that's not his goddamn fault.
Okay, I'm going to read you some. Trump's comments after a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville,
Yeah,
Virginia.
there's good people on both sides. Who cares? There are good people on both sides.
Okay. So he didn't denounce the hate. He didn't.
He's not a killer.
he
He's
didn't-
not an assassin.
He didn't denounce the hate at all. And as a president, you should be denouncing hate.
No, but a white nationalist doesn't mean that you will kill people. It might mean I prefer to be with. If you go.
Someone did die.
Hold on. If you're saying I'm Japanese
Mhm.
or China, okay, in Quebec it's a big deal. It's called Chinese Christmas or whatever. I forgot how they call it. There's a Chinese holiday. They all get together. It's only Chinese people, and they only celebrate that among Chinese. Is that racist? No. They're celebrating their own.
Yeah.
Indonesia has or Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
In Mexico, it's mainly Mexicans who get together and celebrate the 5th of May.
Right.
They're not excluding people, but 99% of people in the party will be Mexican.
Mhm.
Colombians don't care. Venezuelans don't care. El Salvador doesn't care. Is that racist to exclude them?
Mm-hmm.
Then everything is goddamn. Christmas is racist because you have to be a Christian. Hanukkah is racist because you have to be Jewish. It's annoying. A white nationalist simply says, I feel better among my own people, white Christians, I get along with them better. A racist person would go, because you're Chinese, I won't hire you. But to say, when I celebrate Christmas, maybe there are no Chinese around. And that's fine. When they celebrate their own thing, there's no white people around. Shit, if you go to Germany, they'll celebrate another thing. The Italians will celebrate another thing. Spanish, another thing. It's just identity. This magical, well, we're all brothers and family and everybody celebrates Christmas is a delusion. People say, I want to be with my own people during that holiday. That's not racist. So a white nationalist is not a killer. And is not a racist. It's someone who prefers to be with his own.
Okay, I got another one then. Shithole countries. Remember that?
Yeah, because it's true. It's a bad way of saying it.
So he's talking about Haiti, El Salvador, any all African countries.
It's a horrible word to say, but if he has
He said
that-
shithole countries.
Because it's a guy who says things without thinking.
Okay.
But I don't think he goes, Haiti, they're disgusting people. Because how much money is the United States sending to Haiti? Let's say they're sending 100 million. If he said, we'll cut that because I don't like black people, that's racist.
Mm-hmm.
But he says stupid things, but that doesn't make it. And look at the other thing. He said, we should be more like Norway. Right away, CNN went, you see, predominantly white and predominantly black. No,
Holy cow.
Norway's economy is 400 times better. There's no
Did Trump say? Trump said that we should be more like Norway.
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's right.
He didn't mean white.
Right.
Prosperous.
Exactly.
Orderly.
Okay.
No dictatorship. Haiti. There's tons of Haitians in Montreal. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Haiti's has had. They're all black people.
Yeah.
Abusing black people. Tonton Macoute, they would go and kill people.
They've abused each other so much. It's in their culture.
It's a terrible country.
Yeah.
Africa is in terrible shape. It's nobody's fault. So if a black person kills another black person, is that racist? No, it's just a guy who's a killer. White nationalists, I completely agree with them. This town is a white nationalist town. 90%, 95% of the population is white. Doesn't mean they're racist.
They might be, but
Go to
it doesn't mean
Vancouver-
that.
Go to Vancouver, there are entire neighborhoods where it's only Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that they're
Richmond.
racist?
Richmond.
And then you go to Surrey, there's mostly Sikhs.
East Indian.
Does that mean that they're racist?
No.
It just means they want to be together because they agree, they speak the same language, they have the same tradition, they
Yeah.
marry with each other.
Yeah.
people have been doing that since the beginning of time. White people marry white, black marry black, Chinese marry Chinese, because it's easier culturally. Because I've married a lady from another country. It's complicated sometimes.
Right.
The habits are different, the food is different, the religion is different. It's harder to get along with someone who's not of your own kind. But wanting to marry
Your
white
own ilk.
Yeah,
Ilk.
marry a white Christian, like me, Catholic. To marry a Catholic is 10 times easier than to marry a Jewish person. Doesn't mean you don't like Jews. It means you're setting yourself up for different religion. When the baby, is he going to be baptized? No, it's not baptized. You go see the priest? No, you go see the rabbi. When you get married? No, it's the rabbi. And yet the kid has to do bar mitzvah. We don't do that in Catholic school. We do confirmation and we do first communion.
Yeah.
The Jewish guy will go, I don't want first communion for my kid. That's not racist. It's just you want to be with people that you agree with. That's why most people marry their own kind. It doesn't mean they don't like other people. It just means they feel more comfortable being in a world that they understand. So everything is racist. It's so frustrating. This caravan, it's not because they're brown. It's because they're illegal. Because if they came from Argentina, where Latinos look like Spanish, they're not brown, they're like white people, he would say the same thing. They're illegals. This is one thing nobody ever thought about. What if they came from Chile? Chile, they look a lot less Latinos than Mexicans. They look like this guy in Chile.
He's white.
Yeah, but in Chile, Argentina,
Yeah.
what's the other? Uruguay. They're like quote unquote Caucasian Latin. Whereas Mexicans are more Native American Latin.
Yeah.
Browner skin. So if people came from Uruguay, you would still stop the caravan. And then CNN would find a way to go, they're Latinos, so you must be racist.
They're really looking hard for the racist card. Yes.
I'm not. Trump
They are.
does stupid things.
Yep.
After stupid, and he says stupid things. Nobody will ever understand why. But to label him as black and to say that his policies are no good and Obama was a great president, that's nonsense. You have to remember the United States is a military power. Obama was the president of the world. Trump said it from the first day. I'm the president of the United States, not the world. So I'm doing everything so that the
Who
US
said he was president of the world?
Obama wanted to change fundamentally America, make it like Europe. And the left, the Democrats.
What were his three major talking points when he first got elected? To change, to be more like Europe. Like in what way?
Not a supreme power. He didn't invest in military.
Yeah.
He wanted to be like universal health care, which was not a mandate of the United States, and more government centralized power other than individual power. Take away the power from the states.
Did he really want individual power for the government?
No, he wanted centralized power.
Centralized, that doesn't sound like what he wanted.
A Republican says, I want to take care of my own health care and not pay for other people. It's a more selfish approach.
Yeah, but the less military thing, I don't think it's a bad deal.
Yeah, but if Russia is pumping its military and you're regressing and they got more guns than you, they can invade you. There was a Cold
If you invest more in defense and less in offense,
but there's
then
no such thing as defense and offense. It's
Yes, there is.
military power.
No, there
Whoever
is.
shoots first. If Russia has 100 guns and you have 60 and they shoot first, even if you defend yourself, they have more
Shouldn't
guns.
matter. If your defense is good, it shouldn't matter who shoots
this
first.
I don't see where you get this. Defense and offense are the same thing.
They're absolutely not.
It just instigate or retaliate. It's just the same
Instigation is always worse than defending.
10 guns on one side, 10 guns on the other, you have a fair fight. Whoever shoots first, it doesn't matter if you defend. The guy had no.
Doesn't matter if it's a fair fight or not. It's just violence.
It's just a matter of fair fight.
When you inflict violence on somebody else and you're the one who's the aggressor, there's a huge difference. But if you got a strong defense, then
there's no such thing as defense.
Of course there is. In
All
martial
the-
arts, there's
all
a
the-
such thing as defense,
You have
and
a
is
bunch
using.
of guns which can be used for defense or offense. What you need to do
You're-
is get guns.
No,
What
you
do
don't
with
need
them-
guns for defense. That's the thing. Canada does well enough without guns. We don't
because
need
we're
guns.
Protected by the U.S. and NATO.
Not necessarily. Well, we're protected by the world. The world would protect
No,
us.
NATO, not the world.
Okay, NATO,
Which
or
is
the
90%
UN.
The US. Oh, not the UN. The
UN would have something to say
No,
about that. For
the
sure they
UN
would.
has- What is the UN? It's just a
I don't
bunch
know.
of
They
Europe.
probably went sideways somewhere down the line, but I think the idea is
The
good.
United States has an agreement with Canada, the same as they would protect Japan. That's why he pushed Kim Jong-un. Canada is protected by the United States, not by the UN. The UN has nothing to do
Okay,
with it.
well, it's protected by the United States. Fine. Okay, but there's other ways to be protected. The United States doesn't need to protect themselves with more missiles to attack other people. All they really need to do is create a better defense. So if anything really happened, then your defense will cross-cancel any aggression that's happening towards you if you stay on the cutting edge of technology.
If you have 100 guns, whether you use them first or second,
I think that makes sense.
all that matters is to have 100 guns. There's no such. It's like playing hockey. Defense and offense goes back and forth like this, boom, 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 all the time. It's instigator or retaliation. But whoever, if we shoot 25 nuclear missiles at Russia and they shoot it back, we're still going to get killed. So there's still whether they shot him second or first, we're still going to get bombed. So the guns are there.
But in a game, if you think about it this way, having a 0-0 game is better for everybody involved
As
because
long as
nobody
everybody
loses,
agrees.
and it's all a win-win. Everybody had fun, okay, and it all came down to a great defense. I think I'm onto fucking something there, man.
We're talking about war. We're not talking about sports. We're talking about war. War is about we still.
Well, I'm talking about war. That's what I'm talking
We
about.
saw Braveheart.
Take any great sports analogy and you apply it to war, it's the same thing.
If a guy walks in here with a shotgun and you have a shotgun, he won't shoot necessarily because he knows he can get shot at. If he walks in here with a shotgun and 7 guys come out with a shotgun, he's going to put his gun down like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
You
but
can say I'm defending myself, but you have 7 guns. and
if
have
you
to
live
go.
in that fear of someone coming up with a shotgun and holding you up every day, I don't live in that fear. So
Because
why
we
do I
live in
even need a
Canada.
fucking shotgun?
How many people got broken?
Even if I
into
lived in the United States, I wouldn't need a shotgun. I don't feel like I've traveled through there. I don't feel like I need a gun at any time because I don't feel like anybody's really going to be pulling a gun out
But it's
at
in
me.
the Constitution. That's what
It's in the Constitution. That's
It doesn't
fine.
make sense to have an AR-15. It's completely insane.
No, it does
to have
not
an
make
AR-15.
any sense.
But these guys go, it's in the goddamn Constitution, so I have one.
Yeah, but they're misreading it. They're just throwing in whatever they.
But again,
How many clips do you need
this
to
is why you have
unload?
Republicans and Democrats who argue all the time. Should you have a gun? No, you shouldn't. But if I don't have a gun,
Yeah.
there's no easy solution.
Well, especially since it's gone that far. Like, it's easier for Canada because our gun laws have always been fairly strict.
But anybody walks into your house with a machete and you don't have a gun, you're disadvantaged.
That's true.
I'd like to have a shotgun in my house. You want to come in here? I'll just crank it and I won't shoot you. I'll just crank it in your face and get the fuck out.
I don't want to be in a place where I ever have a need to have a shotgun in my
But that's
house.
the thing, so
And that's what I'm
somebody's
working
not-
towards. So if I have a shotgun in my house, it's almost like I don't believe that that can actually happen.
But it's just a precaution. In the mind of an American, it's a precaution. There was a law.
I got you sleeping on my couch, man. That's my precaution. You just you attack them with your words.
If I wasn't them, oh my God, hey, please don't rob me, man.
There you go. The guy's gone.
But you go, he's gonna turn around much faster. Non-verbal communication. You crank the damn gun. How many comments you get from that now? All that yapping.
I don't have any comments because I'm not doing it that way, but I'm going to end it off here.
Whoa.
So that was TV with Andy.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a football game, but
That's what happened. So
hey, the kid is killing them 31-3. His first game.
Raiders 3, 49ers 31.
And it's
It's flagged.
First game.
third quarter. Is that the third quarter? 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 14 seconds in the third quarter.
And they're getting killed.
And they're getting killed. All right. So thanks for joining. And yeah. TV with Andy. T in space.
No comments. What's bizarre?
Not really. Because I did it differently.
What does that mean? It's not live.
This isn't live, no. I just taped the conversation. So now I am almost going to stop record. Should I stop now?